G'day there. You're watching the Aussie BIM Guru. I've got a really quick video today just to promote some content that I've released on my website store. So I'll just jump straight into it to try not to waste too much of your time. But I'm just going to be demonstrating one of my content packs, Content Pack 11, which deals with all things related to amenities. The reason why I haven't done videos for the last few packs, because they're really just sets of content, whereas this pack does have some fairly advanced functionality embedded in it, so I thought I'd make a video to show you how it works. This is my work, so not my channel, but I guess I promote it here just in case anyone on the channel is interested. So announcing my amenities pack. So you can purchase it on my website store through my business in the store portal. I've got a few packs queued up over the next few weeks, so feel free to keep an eye on it if you're looking for some high quality Revit content. And you can purchase it if you have an account on the website. I've had some packs in the past, like I said, but they were really just sets of family content, so not really a very exciting thing to show in a video. And there's also a lot of other things on there as well for those that haven't visited my store before. But I'll just quickly demonstrate, I guess, what you get in the pack. So you do get all the families separately in a library structure, but you also get a sample model, which I'll use to show you how the content works and what it contains. So it's broken into a few sections. The first one just deals with lockers. And then some loose cubicles, then some cubicles nested into an array, and some shower cubicles, also a vanity array and a urinal array. So you can use these to effectively build quite a simple toilet layout, which at the end I sort of show the user how they can use these to achieve a standard toilet or set of toilets. But in 3D, if you have a look at them, they're all fairly detailed, probably LOD 300. I would put them at, but all with nested components as well, so they're all separately taggable and reportable. They all have extensive data, just like all my families do to date. But I'll just quickly show you, I guess, how they actually work. So with the lockers, there are 5 different types in the one family that essentially just divide the number of lockers per bay. As well as this, they also report the number of bays and lockers that are contained in the respective sets. Now, most of my arrays that I have in this pack are dealt with using a line-based family, which essentially means you get 2 toggles and you can just drag back one of the toggles and it will fill it with the maximum possible number of elements it can fit. So as you drag it up, you can see that if I gain enough space for an extra locker, I'll gain a locker. Then you can either drag it back or align it back to just achieve the maximum number that it can fit. But it makes it really easy to place them as well. So when you go to place them, you just place on work plane, click once, click twice, and you've just placed a whole set of lockers. So really convenient. These are all nested as well, of course, so you can tag them separately if you need to. I've also got a set of parametric cubicles, which contain all nested components. For example, I have a shower cubicle with all sorts of visibility options, such as turning off the bench, turning on the bench, changing the size of it, turning off the soap dispensers, all sorts of controls. Also controlling the end panels as well, so how many panels do you need around the shower. Same with the toilets as well, but it is worth pointing out that I do have 2 different types of cubicles to deal with ambulant cubicles. For those that have worked with these before, you'll know that there are clearance requirements, especially in Australia, that relate to these under our standard AS 1428. So I have actually built in these clearance checking families so that you can use them in a program like, say, Navisworks or Dynamo to find out if your ambulant toilets do comply with your bathroom layouts, or you can just visually use them to see if they're working as well. This cubicle is a little bit small. It's usually a bit deeper because this cubicle usually goes down the end of a corridor instead. So I do provide different configurations that you can use to clearance test these families. If you go to 3D, you can also just have a quick look and sort of see at the various clearance aspects that you can cross-check with the families as well. So we can see here you have two different sets of approach, essentially, depending on how you come into the ambulant cubicle. These are, of course, all fully parametric as well in width and depth. We then have arrays of toilets. These essentially are placed in a really similar manner to the lockers. So you click once, click twice, and when it's complete, it will calculate the maximum number of cubicles it can fit, and then it will evenly space them in the width of the array. I can turn on and off the begin and end panels as well if I want to not finish between, say, 2 walls. And as well as this, I can also change my minimum cubicle width to impact how many cubicles I can fit. So if I make my minimum cubicle width, say 750, which is obviously very narrow and non-compliant, regardless, it should still update the overall array, and chances are you'll probably fit more toilets than you would before. So it all does all the maths for you. So you can see, there we go. So you can see that's updated the possible number of cubicles within that array spacing. So it allows you to keep your standards really in check on your project if you know the minimum width is, say, 920. As well as this, there's shower arrays. Same thing again. Essentially, these are line-based families, and in the type properties, you have the ability to set the minimum cubicle width, and it will evenly distribute them to suit. There's a lot of controls too, such as enabling a rear fall versus a cross fall. So if I enable the rear fall and turn off the cross fall, we can see now we drain to the back of the cubicles instead. So there's a lot of nested controls pushed down into these elements as well. You also have the option to use two types. One of them is a 1 meter max spacing bench arrangement shower, the other 800 millimeter max spacing without bench. So you do have the ability to introduce different types into the arrays too. I then also have some arrays for basins. So in this case, these are also line based again, and they evenly distribute the basins between the width of the array. But in this case, you just specify the number of basins you want. So I can say I want 3, I want 4, I want 5, and you can also specify the inset of the basins as well. So maybe you only want to do 500 either side, and it all updates to suit the requirements that you place upon the basins. So that's really convenient, and obviously as you change the size of it, everything will update to suit. So nice and easy. I've also got a front mounting basin as well, but also a inset basin too. I've also got urinals, same story again, just a parametric array of a urinal and a set of dividers. In this case, you specify the number of urinals that you want. I thought it was better to build it this way. And you can also specify the inset of the first and the last urinal as well. And you can also turn off the dividers as well. So nice and convenient. And I've also just provided a little layout just to show the user how they could lay out, in this case, their bathroom. So you can see in this case, we have the front approach ambulante toilet. We have an array of standard toilets with cisterns, and we have a vanity. We also here we have a urinal array as well. So I've sort of showed them in use, as well as modeled up the wall tiles and the walls too. So you can sort of see how I would typically do a full bathroom using these families in Revit. Because I have used these quite a few times already, just in projects with clients. They're really useful and easy, rather than placing everything individually, which is pretty boring and pretty frustrating. So hopefully that helps show you how the product works, and it might help you in your everyday Revit work. I keep all my presentations on GitHub. Obviously the files though are on my store. So thanks for watching today. I know that I'm still on break. I'm actually doing a lot of work in the background, so I wouldn't say I'm necessarily properly on break, but I guess I'm on break from the channel. I hope to come back in maybe two to three weeks with one video per week. We'll see how we go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you in future videos, and if you have any queries about the content, feel free to leave it down below. If you're not already following and subscribing, feel free to do so, and I'll see you in future videos. Thanks. Take care. Bye.